everyone, Tracy here with Paper Closet Designs, and today's video is one you've all been waiting for. You've seen the Halloween, you've seen the fall, and now I'm starting on the Christmas dome candy treat cards. So these are made with a Christmas ball ornament. You only use half of it. It'll come with two halves, and you just break it apart, and you're going to use half for each one. I have 3 of them today that I'm going to show you. I have a whole bunch more Christmas ones in the works, so watch for them in the next coming week or so. So let's just go ahead and jump right in and get started. The 3 that I'm going to do today are the Christmas ornament, the Santa head, and the reindeer. Now, all of them have 2 different types of backs. I'm going to show you on the fall ones what I'm talking about. So this one has a pull tab. So if you can just pull it open and access your candy that way, or it also comes with a dial where you just, it's called a shutter dial, and you just spin it to open it up and get your candy out. So like I said, each of them come with both backs. You can choose which one you want. They're both available. So on our Christmas ornament, I'm actually going to do the pull tab. So what you'll get with your file is the Christmas ornament has 4 layers. You have your yellow layer, a brown layer, the green layer, and the red layer. And you can cut these out of any color that you want, change them up. If you are doing the pull tab, you will also have this layer. It's a solid piece that has the little pull tab. If you are doing the dial, you will have the dial piece. So it comes with 2 washers, the back piece, the actual dial, and then this is the piece that goes up against your dome. This is the one that you glue it onto. You will need a brad to do this one, and I will show you the shutter dials on the next couple that we're going to do. So I'm going to set that aside. We're going to go ahead and start with this one. Now, the ornament one I did create with a little tab if you want to hang it, like put it on a Christmas tree or hang it from a door. If you are going to do that, I would suggest you cut at least 2, possibly 3 of these layers out and glue them, because once you put your candy in there, they get really heavy and that might just rip through. So you're going to want 2 or 3 layers if you're going to hang this. Okay, so first we're going to take our back piece. This is the piece that has the pull tab, and I'm going to just flip it over to where I'm going to pull it from, and I'm going to pull that tab, bend it just a little bit, not a whole lot. Okay, we're going to flip it back over, and then I'm going to take my first piece, and I'm going to, well, it's not my first piece. The first piece is a little oversized, so I'm going to start with this second layer, and I'm going to line it up. I'm going to lay it on top of there and take a pencil and just trace around it. If you've seen the others, they all go together the same way. Okay, next, because this is the pull tab, we have to fill it first. So I just got some Hershey Kisses, some gold and silver Hershey Kisses that I'm going to put in here. Fill that up first. It could probably have more, but we're going to stop there. And now I'm just going to take my hot glue gun. Make sure you're using a hot glue gun, and you're going to put glue all the way around that circle. You do not want to put it where your pull tab is. So even though the line goes over it, you're not going to put glue where that pull tab is. I'm just going to take my glue gun, drag it around. And then we're going to line it up. I'm actually going to put my little tab of my ornament down towards the bottom. I don't want it on that pull tab. So I'm going to kind of eyeball it, line it up, push it down. And it didn't get quite to the bottom, but that's okay because it's going to be hidden. That's all there is to that. You just want to make sure that it's on there nice and tight. Okay, so next, let's go ahead and layer our ornament. So if you watch the other videos, I use a lot of pop dots. So on this one, I'm not going to. Normally, I like to just layer, layer, layer and give it a lot of thick layers, and we probably will on some of the other ones, but not on this one. So I'm going to take my glue and just glue this on here. Just like that. And then I'm going to take my green layer, or my solid layer, and glue it, match up the circles. And there is a little bit of that brown piece showing through, and that's okay. I made it that way. It's just a little tiny bit of a shadow. And then we're going to take our cutout piece, our decorative piece. This would be really fun, cut from some pattern paper too. You could do about anything. And then we're going to just line that up there. Oops. Trying to work around the camera and I can't see if that's lined up or not. There we go. I think it is. Okay. Then we're going to just take this and we're going to pop dot it onto that back layer. Now again, if you were hanging this and so you've cut out your 2 or 3 layers, glue these 3 layers, these yellow layers together. Don't do them with foam pop dots. Glue them together. And then you can layer this, and then we're going to put it on here with the foam. So I'm going to take my foam and just cut out some pieces. And I've explained this before, but the reason I use foam in between these 2 layers is because that tab's going to lift it up anyway. So this just makes it a little more consistent. Now we're going to cut that piece down because I got it too fat. That's why I like the foam on the roll, because I can cut them any shape I want, any thickness I want. Okay, that off. This would be really fun to put on your Christmas tree. Hang a bunch of these if you've got, you know, kids coming over or for a classroom party, and just have them all hanging on the tree with maybe a tag with their name on it. I'm going to line that up. Let's push it down. It's a nice tight fit. It's supposed to be. And there is your Christmas tree ornament with some candy in it. Flip it over. This one has the pull tab. Again, it also comes with, I didn't line that up very good. Not at all. Well, I'll fix it for the photos. Anyway, it has the pull tab or it has the dial on it. Okay, the next one we're going to do is the Santa Claus. So let me bring him over here. And I did ink him up just a little bit. You can do that or not. I show you in the fall how to do it. I use the Distress crayons from Tim Holtz just to ink up a little bit because there's so much white in here. It'll kind of blend in. So that's what I did. So on this one we have, well, let me start here. This is our Santa Claus, and he has lots of layers. So first off, we have the hat. So we have the brim piece and the, I don't know, we've called that the pom-pom, and the actual hat. Then we have the mustache and the nose. And this I cut out of cream. Then we have the mustache piece. We have the face piece, and it has the eyes cut out. We have the back piece. This is your black, and then this is the very last layer. And if it's I cut these. If it's the no, that's right. Then we have the back pieces. So we have this piece right here. This is for the dial. If you've got the pull tab, it's going to have the pull tab piece. I didn't cut that one out. And then you have your dial pieces. Okay, so let's go ahead and layer our Santa first. So we're going to take this solid red piece, and then I'm going to add my black piece on first. You want to be careful that you don't use too much glue on these. I mean, you want it firm and you want it to stick together, but you don't want too much because you don't want it to start curving and warping. You know how paper gets if you use too much glue on it. And these are going to have lots of glue because there's lots of layers. Okay, so we're going to do that. The next is our cream piece. This is the one that has the eyes cut out. So this one was cut with cream. I'm going to put glue everywhere except on the little eyes. Layer him down. Next we have our beard and our mustache piece. And you could actually, I'm building this up right here first before I put it over the dome. You could do the dome piece first and then build it up. I'll probably do that on the reindeer just so you can see what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter which you do first, honestly. I'll do his little face. Okay, so at this point I am going to stop and I'm going to assemble my back. So if you were doing the pull tab, you'd put the glue on there like I showed you before, and glue, fill your dome and put it on there. So we're going to take our little Santa face and we're going to line him up. And then we're going to take our pencil and just draw a circle. All the way around. Okay, before we do the dome, because I keep messing this up, we need a brad. So I just buy these I've got them at Walmart, Target. They're just the paper brads. Pretty simple. We're going to take this piece here that has the hole, and it has the little notch in it. We're going to put the brad through it first. Okay, flip it over. We want to put one of the washers on. Put our dial piece. Put our washer on. And then flip this over because we want to make sure that it's going to run in the right direction when we glue it, and put that piece on. And then I just spread those brads. Now this is the inside of your card, and I did do that wrong. We want it this way. See where my line is? We want it that way. Oh, I spread that open. It's not going to work. I hope you don't mind all my mistakes on here. I hope if I make mistakes on the screen, then you'll know not to make them. Okay, so now we're going to flip that over, and this piece right here, I don't know if you can see it, we are going to glue that edge down. I'm going to take my glue. I'm just going to put some glue right along the edge there, all the way around. We want to make sure that the glue is not by the dial piece. We want that dial piece to move freely. So I always check it before I add my dome, because you don't want to have to take the whole thing apart. I've had to do that. If you've watched my other videos, you know I've had to do that. Okay, so now we're going to flip this over. We're going to put glue right where we drew our line. Again, not on top of where the dial is, because we want that to spin. Hot glue is your friend. I think I mentioned that. Just be careful that you don't burn yourself. And then let's take our dial, and I'm going to put my tab somewhere away from where that opening is. So I'm going to just put it down there on the corner. All right, now I'm going to take this piece and we can apply it with the foam pop dot so that it gives it a little dimension, and where that tab is not in the way, or it raises it. So we're going to do it again. And this is kind of big, so I'm going to put some bigger pieces this time. You don't need to go crazy with the foam dots. You do want to make sure that it's pretty secure. Sorry, I keep bumping the camera. I'm going to make you motion sickness. Give you motion sickness. All right. So now we can take our Santa face and just line that up. Press it down. Make sure it's all sticking. Looks good on the back. And now we can add the rest of our embellishment pieces. So I'm going to add my hat first. I'm going to add the brim. Whoa. Add a little fluff ball, pom-pom right up there at the top. Add our mustache. Now he's got a little notch cut out. That's going to go right up against the dome, and it is going to cover part of his eyes. That's because Santa's face is covered in whiskers. You don't see a lot of his face. And then last but not least, we're going to put that nose on, and I am going to put his nose on with just a little piece of foam. And I did give his nose some shading. Besides the white pieces, I did give his nose a little bit of shading. There is our Santa. So I'm going to turn him over, open up the dial. I think we'll fill it up with some M&Ms. Woo. Shut the dial. And there is our Santa Claus. Isn't he cute? What kid wouldn't love that? Okay, let's do the reindeer. The reindeer probably has the most layers, but it's still not hard. So let's start with the reindeer piece. Bring it over here. So we have his muzzle. Then we have these black pieces. So we have two eyes, just the two circles. You have two front hooves, two back hooves, and his nose. I'm making mine Rudolph, so he's going to have a bright red nose. You could make your nose brown as well if you wanted to. Then we have our brown piece. We have our white piece. We have our red piece. And we have the piece that has the horns. Now the backs are just a little bit different on this one. So if you're doing the pull tab, the backs don't have any of the antlers on it. So there's the piece with the pull tab. Or if you're going to do it with the shutter, you will have two washers. You'll have your dial. You'll have your back piece. And then this is your front piece, or your the dial piece that goes on top. So it would layer like that. And it doesn't matter which one you do because we've done both of them already. I'm going to go ahead and do the dial piece again. So what I'll do, I'm going to take my Rudolph piece and I want to make sure that I'm lining him up in the right direction. I'm going to make sure that he's lined up. Oh, that was correct. And then we're going to go ahead and draw that circle in there with our pencil. I talked about on my Halloween video why you would want one over the other. The shutter dial back is easier to fill and it preserves your card. You don't have to tear it apart to get into it. The pull back uses less paper and is probably actually easier for little kids that have a hard time spinning that dial piece. So either one, you can't go wrong. They're both just going to be really cute. All right, so we've got this. We're going to go ahead and let me get another brad. Hope this video isn't getting too long. So we're going to start with this piece that has the notch. This is your very, very back piece. So we're going to put the brad, through that notch. Flip it over. Add a washer. Add your dial. And then add your piece with the circle that you've drawn face up. And you don't have to, but I like to leave that open when I'm doing this. It just makes it easier to see what I'm doing. Okay. Open up your brad. And then we're going to flip it over and we're going to make sure that this, this back piece is glued to the back. So under his head, we can go pretty crazy. Just make sure you don't get any glue on the dial. And then we're going to just do the edge on both sides there. Oh no, I'm running out of glue. Okay, make sure that that's glued down. Check your dial. And it's spinning, but I did not get that other side glued down very well. It's because I'm almost out of glue. Let's try it again. Okay, it's going to work. I'm going to let those sides dry first while we set that aside. Okay, now let's go ahead and add our dome. So I've got my dome. I'm going to take my glue gun and put glue all the way around, making sure that I don't get it at the opening. And you'll notice I put the little tab down here by his leg because there was lots of room there for it. Okay, now we're going to start layering this. So the first thing I'll do is I'm going to put some foam pop dots and then I'm going to put my dark piece down, the one that has the antlers. take the tape off there. Let's put our antlers on. And this is where I said you can either layer it all at once and put it on together like I did the Santa, or you can put the dome on it and then layer each piece. Doesn't matter, whichever one you find easier. I'm doing both so that you can see how I did it. Okay, next up we're going to put the red piece on, and I'm just going to glue these. I'm not going to do the pop dots, the foam. Layer him all up. Next is our white. Oh, come on, let's get this project done before I have to stop and fill you. I'm going to put just a little bit by the ears, a little tiny bit. Okay. Then we have this piece. This is our last big layer. I did tell you in one of the videos I did, I've done so many now I can't remember, that when you're doing these, you want something that has at the very least 3 layers. These can get kind of heavy with the candy, depending on what kind of candy you put in them. So the more layers, the sturdier your card is going to be. So I always look for at least 3 layers. All of mine have at least 3 layers. Most of them have 4 or 5. There we go. Okay, now let's add his little eyes. And again, just like with, well, with some of the others, you can have his eyes looking down, cross-eyed, up, straight at you. Whatever you want. I think I forgot a brad or a washer, or I cut one too many. I might have cut one too many. There should be a washer on both sides. And I may have forgotten one, and that may be why my thing's not spinning quite as well. So now we're going to put his muzzle on, and it has that little spot cut out. And then we can put his nose on, and I do think I want to put his nose on with some foam. I did not add any shading to this guy, but you could. He'd be really cute if he was all shaded and had a little bit of dimension going on. You could also draw some little freckles on his muzzle if you wanted to. Okay, and then we're just going to add his hoofs. And his front hooks. Whoops, I knocked that off as I was moving it. The straight edge goes on the outside. The curved edge goes on the inside. And they are symmetrical, so if you get them mixed up, doesn't matter. Same with the bottom hoofs. Okay, and there is our little reindeer. How cute is he? Let's flip him over. We're going to put some candy in there. This time I've got some Christmas Hershey's Kisses. I'm going to spin this closed. Now, the reason this is not spinning is because I forgot to add that other washer. So it's not going to spin very well. I'll fix that. Anyway, let's just flip that over. There is our Santa, or our reindeer. We have Santa. We have the Christmas ornament, and I have even more coming. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope that you will go ahead and give it a try. Give me a thumbs up down below. Don't forget to hit subscribe so that you don't miss any of my videos, and have a great day.